I'm Cheryl Kuhn, a Social Security disability lawyer with the law firm of Swanson, Thomas, Kuhn, and Newton in Portland, Oregon.
I'm Melissa Haggerty. I'm also an attorney. I work with Cheryl, and we both exclusively practice in the Social Security disability realm.
But as you might imagine, many of our clients are individuals who were injured originally in the work setting and then, unfortunately, find themselves unable to return to the workforce. Now, for folks who were hurt in the work setting, there are some important things to keep in mind. And today, Melissa and I are going to talk about some of the key areas for injured workers to consider if they are also going to be pursuing Social Security disability benefits. Melissa, what do you think are the most important things for an injured worker to know?
Well, Cheryl, the important thing, the most critical thing for somebody who's been injured on the job, I think, is that they need to realize that workers' compensation and Social Security are very different, but they affect each other. And in both cases, it's critical to have a local, talented attorney who can help you navigate the two different processes and the ways that those two processes interact without potentially damaging each other's case.
Now, what kinds of things might happen in a workers' comp case that could then damage your Social Security disability case?
We see this on a fairly regular basis because people want to submit all of the evidence from their workers' comp case to Social Security because they frequently have been sent to medical experts as part of their workers' compensation case. And I would encourage folks who are in this situation to stop and talk to a local Social Security disability attorney because in some cases, the documentation from your workers' compensation case is not appropriate to submit to Social Security. This would include sometimes depositions that were taken for your workers' compensation case. Sometimes they've sent you to a medical expert, and that medical expert is looking at the specific workplace injury and maybe concludes that won't keep you from working. But in Social Security, we don't want to submit a letter to a judge that says he can work because maybe there are other things other than the workplace injury that would prevent you from working a full-time job.
So are you telling me that there is no requirement that these workers' comp documents be submitted, at least at the beginning?
There's no requirement, and this is why it's so important to, early in the process of Social Security disability, to hire a local Social Security attorney and talk to them before you submit any documents regarding your workers' compensation case.
So what do injured workers need to understand about the way that workers' compensation benefits and Social Security disability benefits interact?
Well, the short answer is that it's very complicated. Again, I would not want any injured worker to have to navigate the interplay between those two systems on their own. The longer answer is that there is a limit of how much you can get in time loss payments from workers' comp combined with a monthly disability benefit. And depending on how injured you are, your disability benefit could be reduced or your workers' compensation benefit could be reduced. And these are things an injured worker really needs to take into account as they move forward with both of their cases.
And is that something they could expect or should ask their lawyer to give them advice on?
Absolutely. Someone who is well versed in Social Security should also have a basis of knowledge in workers' compensation. And this is why we encourage people to work with a local Social Security lawyer who understands the workers' compensation process enough to tell an injured worker when it's time to talk to a workers' compensation lawyer. And hopefully they have someone that they work closely with, and you could have a team working on both cases.
And by the way, Social Security is governed by federal law. Is that the case with workers' comp?
Workers' compensation is governed by state law, and so you have different rules state by state. And so an injured worker in Washington is going to have different impacts than an injured worker in Oregon.
Is there anything else you think that folks listening who are injured workers should keep in mind?
It is important for injured workers to know that both in workers' compensation and in Social Security, your lawyer gets paid only when your case is successful. And this is why it's such a value for someone to track down two local, well-respected lawyers that you can work with as a team to move through both of your cases.
Well, we wish you the best of luck, and we hope this has been helpful to you.